Hi everyone, welcome again to our Thankful Thursday segment. So today we have the Volunteer Center Atrium team, myself, Akmal and Denise, and we have a special guest, Hazel. Say hi, Hazel. Hi.
Hello.
Right. So unlike previous episodes, we are also commemorating the Singapore Armed Forces Day, or short for SAF Day, which falls on the 1st of July, technically today on Thursday. So we're catching up with Hazel as she's no stranger to this special occasion because she herself is an RSAF service woman. Woo! So let's unpack Hazel's volunteering journey with Campus Impact and find out a bit more on her time in the service with the SAF lah. So I'll let Denise get the ball rolling. So take it away, Denise.
Alrighty, thanks, Akmal. Hi, Hazel.
Hello.
Tell us about yourself and maybe how did you get involved with Campus Impact, or how did you hear about us?
So I'm Hazel. I'm with the RSAF. I've been with the RSAF since 2014. I got to know about Campus Impact because my friends and I actually we conceived of an idea where we wanted to introduce like creative writing and English literacy to the kids. And then that's when we started to, we felt like we didn't have the resources to really grow it, and we didn't really have the expertise. So we wanted to work with a group of people who knew the children and could also will also inspire us in the same way that we hope to inspire the children.
Okay. So you mentioned that you're serving the nation, right? Like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, very rare to actually really have a volunteer with us who actually serves the nation while also coming out and creating a program, the Butter Bookies, right? So I just wanted to find out, like, this kind of sparked and blossomed into a program that you run, I think 3 or 4 times really, right, with us.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you can share a bit more about it and how did you recruit your friends to support the program?
So I think so my friends who are in the program with me, we went to uni together, and actually a lot of them were also from the force, from the army as well as the navy, and a lot of us we felt like we wanted to do something with our time to give back to the children, and I think a lot of us sometimes with volunteering, it's really about not just about identifying people who need help, but also seeing how you can help them and like what's the best way that you think you can help them as well. And I think that in our education, in our experiences, we realized that we wanted to take these children out of their so-called comfort zones, or away from the whole structured learning programs that they go through in school. We wanted to give them out of the classroom experiences and present to them something that is tuition-like, but not necessarily like tuition. Yeah, if I word that correctly. Yeah. So Butter Bookies, we intend to bring them out and then let them see things that are beyond the classroom. So for example, in the 3 to 4 sessions, we also gave them examples of ramen shops around the world, in Japan, in Singapore, and we compared the taste of ramen around the world and stuff like this. And I think this is where the children really got really engaged. We played games like charades with them. We also got them to compete with us in things like Pictionary. And that's when we really see the children bring their competitive spirit to the classroom. And they really learn from there. And I think all the volunteers we really enjoyed it. And I think the children, hopefully they took away something from those sessions.
I'm sure they did, because some of them also, first of all, I think they mentioned Butter Bookies. Initially, they thought like, oh, baking
class,
yeah. Right? Yeah. So, and I remember you saying that you want to continue this because it's been 3 to 4 sessions. Will this be happening?
Yeah. So initially we were running the pilot project. Wanted to see the kids' responses, and then along the way, kind of feel our way through and tweak the program accordingly. And I think after the 3 to 4 sessions, we did decide on the course of action. And unfortunately, the COVID restrictions came the way. So we will probably be starting somewhere in July, August.
Okay, we'll stay tuned to find out more about that later then. I think, Amal, you have some questions?
Yes, I do. Okay. I mean, thanks for sharing the bit on Butter Bookies. I think it's a really interesting program to bring the kids outside lah. I think it also, I guess the idea behind the program also embodies what Campus Impact DNA is built of. To promote a positive attitude, to lead purposeful lives, and to have a pioneering spirit lah. So I think you've encapsulated that with your friends and volunteers so well for Butter Bookies. Okay. So perhaps a bonus question on this part, right? Do you have any memorable experiences or any particular volunteering experience that you would like to share about from Butter Bookies?
Any from Butter Bookies? So I think with the restrictions that we had at that point of time, we couldn't really, and still now, I don't think we really have materialized everything that we imagined previously. I mean, we were in talks about bringing them to places like the Science Center, the zoo, and then even their playgrounds in the neighborhoods, and then really getting in touch with their everyday lives, and then seeing how all this can be expressed in different terms. So, for example, that a playground is not just about a space that they play and that they associate all these memories with. We want them to be conscious of the fact that they are lived experiences, and these are the things that they are feeling and they are growing up with, that they're experiencing. This is something that I want to drive Butter Bookies towards in the future, like to make them conscious of the space and the experiences that they are in, and to see how that's shaping them as an individual and how they can fully explore their potential, like anywhere in this world. Going back to the question, I think really what I enjoyed most during the Butter Bookies sessions was the competition actually that we had. It was a very simple thing. We had a Pictionary competition between us and them, and what struck me was actually we took turns to give each other words, and one of the kids actually gave us the word anti-establishment. So we were supposed to draw out anti-establishment and guess that. I was like, wow, these kids these days are so, like, first of all, they were so determined to win. Like, they wanted to give us a difficult word, they wanted to prove us wrong. And second, I was like, oh, these kids are actually, they really read above and beyond their syllabus. And it's something that, we normally don't think about, because we think that these kids, maybe they just go through everyday motion in life. But actually, the reason why he knew about these things was because he went through a lot of articles about like politics, and he went to read up on the dictionary and stuff like this. So I would think like that incident actually opened my eyes to the fact that these kids are actually very curious, and they want to know more, and they want to win, and they have the motivation to do so. And I think it's something that should be empowering a lot of the kids to do, especially because they don't see the value in having this kind of intrinsic motivation at a young age. Yeah.
Wow, that's quite loaded, like, actually, for the kids to actually share. I mean, to compete and contest with you on such a difficult term, Yeah. So I guess Butter Bookies does provide this amazing platform to explore different perspectives in life, to inculcate like some critical thinking to our beneficiaries as well. So I'm sure you definitely enjoyed it, lah. Yeah. So thank you for sharing on Butter Bookies. So we are actually looking forward for the next July and August run. Then perhaps if situation improves, we can see each other physically. Okay, right. So moving on from the question on your volunteering journey, right? So we also want to dive a bit into your time with the force, I mean, since it's SAF Day, right? So my question would be: are there some qualities or values that you've grown into or learned from your time in the force that has helped you as a volunteer today?
Some qualities. I think in the SAF in general, I think planning is very important. I mean, a lot of our missions are time critical, but mission success. I mean, in the Air Force is mission success safety always. So I would say planning skills, organization skills. And I think another thing is also realizing that you are backed by a team of volunteers and like-minded people who want to engage the kids as well. So it's not about me just because I have these ideas that I should be executing them all at one go. I think it's about knowing that, it's also a platform. It's not just a platform for the kids, but also a platform for other volunteers to interact. And it's also about, for me, creating these spaces and avenues on which people can express themselves and really give back to these children and make the whole Butter Bookies experience a positive one.
Okay. Wow. I mean, just to know, planning is definitely important, and I guess you can also inculcate this into some activities or programs with the kids, lah. So everything is like imparted, all this new wisdom and knowledge is imparted to the beneficiaries at Campus Impact. Great. So perhaps a last question that I would like, I think we are all want to put our finger on. So what advice would you give other like service women or service personnel like yourself who are keen to become volunteers? Like, do you see any challenges that you might face, and perhaps how did you overcome them?
Challenges, I think, for any full-time working adult would really be how do I manage my full-time job as well as trying to plan something like this. And I think for myself, the initial and the biggest obstacle that I had to overcome was how am I going to translate my ideas into action? And will there be anybody who really wants to listen to me talk to them for about 2 hours a week, right? And where can I conduct these things? So it's really a resource. I think it's really a resource problem. And but I think after I discovered Campus Impact, I realized that actually it's not about you coming out here to make a difference on your own. There are a lot of people out here who can support you. The friends around you as well, they can definitely support you. And resources shouldn't be a bar to you trying to volunteer and help out whenever you can. I mean, definitely you can come and join us at Butter Bookies if you're interested. We're definitely looking to recruit. I'm sure that Campus Impact could also, there's always room to help anywhere.
Definitely. I think I guess it's Denise and my mission also to get more volunteers to take part and help Yishun flourish. Significantly because we are the VC at Yishun, right? Yeah. So I guess in terms of the resource problem, we do have a lot of support, a lot of time and energy that our volunteers bring to Campus Impact, and like yourself. So we are hoping that we can leverage all of these amazing energies together and create something that's meaningful and impactful for all of them that we serve. Yeah. So perhaps do you have like one line of quote of advisory or any advice to our service personnel like yourself?
What advice on being volunteer? I don't think I have a punchy one-liner to give. Maybe advice would really just be to trust yourself, trust your ideas, and don't hold back just because you think there are many material and resource issues. These are all things that can be overcome in the end, and there's so much more that we can take out of this if you just dare to try.
That's punchy, dare to try. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all our questions for today. Thank you so much, Hazel, for taking your time this evening to share with us a bit more on your volunteering journey at Campus Impact, and of course your time in service with the RSAF. So I guess perhaps I was thinking if we could do this together, or maybe before that, Denise, do you have any last words before we close it off?
Yeah, I actually felt like what Hazel mentioned, that resources should never be shouldn't be a constraint to what you really want to achieve, because like you said, that's why the volunteer center is here to provide the resources that you need. And I think even going out there to do your own research and finding Campus Impact and learning that we actually have the space. So we have the space, we can start with our own children first to see how it goes and pilot it and see how we can make it into a community project. I think that was the thing that we're trying to achieve in future. Yeah. So it's always this pilot program first, right? That we need to trial and error with. And I think like what you mentioned, you actually took the courage to try. Yeah. And that's the first step. What goes on after is, a story that we can look into later. Yeah. But it's also opening that book first, which takes the first step.
Definitely.
So very, very grateful that, coming out of your own time to do such an initiative and, recruiting the volunteers on your own as well. I think that is an amazing job. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my last.
Nicely put, Denise. Thank you so much. Okay, so before we go off, I would just like to wish everybody a good SAF day. So especially to our service persons like Hazel's and all those who are serving the nation today lah. So let's close it up together. So thank you. Please stay tuned to our next episode of Thankful Thursdays. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.